Hello and welcome to another episode of Book Talk. Today we're going to be going over the comic book Witchblade. It first premiered in the 90s. I can only find the first 8 issues. I'm not sure if there's any more issues than that. But we're going to go into a little bit of a nostalgia kick and take a look at the art as well as the storyline, and we'll go on from there. So here we go. So here's the cover page, and as you can see, very 90s style vibe because it was made in 1995. There's a very attractive lady on the front. The shading's impressive, the texture, the nice vibrant colors. All of it just screams 90s, and it gives me a very nostalgia-like feel because being born in 1985, most of my childhood was through the 90s. And as you can see, the artistry is just out of this world impressive. The color schematics that he uses just on point, and his attention to detail is just out of this world. And the main protagonist's name is Sarah Pizzini, and this is Sarah, and as you can see, Witchblade, they definitely use the whole sex sells thing, as it's a very attractive lady, which in my mind totally works. It works for the story. And what the story is this: a private investigator is investigating a murder of a friend, and but basically what happens is a mob boss that gets tied up in all of this. He's looking for what's called the Witchblade, which is a glove. And this glove, it's looking for a specific person to wear it. You got to be worthy of it. And if you put on the glove and you're not worthy, basically it burns your hand right off. And I will show that. Because it's the attention to detail in that as well is relatively impressive. But this comic-based book basically has everything you need. It's got a sexy protagonist. It's got the ominous bad guys, and we'll kind of go on from there and take a look at that. And what I love best about this comic is it definitely goes on the side of risky, with the amount of cleavage it shows, and the amount of skin that it has, the protagonist shows, but it still remains classy in my opinion. And it also shows that strong female protagonist, as she has one heck of an attitude and amazing personality, quite quirky in my opinion, and it shows that you can have a character who's hot and also a strong female protagonist. And here's exactly what I mean by strong female protagonist. She's got the gun. This is a scene where she basically whoops about 3 or 4 bad guys at once, blowing them away, kicking their butts, and just all around just being a total badass. And then there's the partner Lee. This is after she basically pistol whipped Lee to make sure that she could keep him safe, which is what I mean by quirky. She pistol whips her partner and knocks him out so that he kind of stays behind and safe while she goes ahead and just basically kicks the crap out of 4 bad guys. And what comic wouldn't be complete without the bad guys? Here you have Mr. Irons, which is the mafia boss, with his lackey Nottingham. And Nottingham, I think, is very impressive. And you see basically what he can do in issue 2. And it's very lethal, very deadly, and very bloody. But Mr. Irons is the one that's trying to, in this issue, run a competition. And what the competition is basically getting all the mafia bosses and all their important henchmen, the henchmen that they deem as the biggest and toughest guys that they got, to come and put their hand in the Witchblade glove. And you're going to see what happens to them later on in this review. And here we have the Witchblade. This is the all-important prize that everybody is talking about. The mafia boss, Mr. Irons, he owns it, and very early in the first issue, in the first 2 or 3 pages, I believe, it goes over how he tried to put his hand in. And he didn't put it in. He must not have put it in all the way, because it explains that Mr. Iron says, "You showed me what would happen if I put my hand in completely, so I know I can't actually have you." So his plan is to have someone put their hand in the Witchblade and basically own the person who can wield the Witchblade, which, and obviously, as you're about to see, does not work out in his favor. It doesn't end up as easy as he was hoping it would be. So after that, Lee ends up getting captured, and Lee basically says, "Just get this over with and shoot me." So Mr. Iron says, "Your wish is my command," basically, and he says, "Fellas, open fire." And everybody opens fire on her partner Lee. And basically, what happens is the main protagonist, Sarah, ends up jumping in front of the bullets, and she doesn't end up saving him. Both of them end up being shot, and Lee ends up mortally wounded. And it shows Sarah lying on the ground, basically in her death throes, reaching for anything to fight back. And the closest thing to her is the Witchblade, and she grabs the Witchblade, which ends up reaching out and grabbing her hand, because she ends up being the worthy one and pulling itself onto her hand and enveloping her whole entire body. And I'm about to show you what that exactly looks like. Here is the main protagonist, Sarah Pazzini, in all her Witchblade glory. You can see that they still leave her to be very attractive, and she is an absolute badass here, just engulfing all the bad guys in flames, searing them right down to the bone. She basically kills everybody in this room. But no, she did not kill Nottingham or Mr. Irons. As soon as they were both shot, Nottingham and Mr. Irons ended up leaving the room. And after that, she ends up passing out of exhaustion, and there you have the first issue. So now we're just going to jump into the second issue, and I'll let you know what the second issue is like as well. In this second issue, for the cover, they basically have the Witchblade wrapping its tendrils all over Sarah Pazzini. But still, again, you can see cleavage there. They're still going by the sex cells, which it does. And but even though they have this hot character, I still appreciate that they remain true to the fact that a female character can be hot, but also a strong female character as well, who's quirky and funny. The second issue has more of a darker feel, as this is shortly after she basically sears everybody in the room, and she's looking down and staring over her dead partner Lee. And here you can basically see that she feels extremely guilty, because Lee does have a wife at home who is waiting for him, and you can see it later on in the issue that does start to tug at her conscience, which I definitely appreciate, because it helps you develop a connection with the character. So you start to sympathize with them. You feel bad for them, for what they're going through, because here it can show that the thoughts in her head about the fact that she can't forget seeing her partner die in front of her eyes, how it's basically traumatized her, which is, again, this is a comic from the 90s, and yes, they went through how seeing someone die can very much traumatize you. But with the dark, kind of depressing feel of the comic, it does spin it around and take this opportunity to kind of perk you up a little bit and show you what Nottingham can actually do. So the Chinese gang, the Triads, they were one of the people that were trying to win the Witchblade, which they were unsuccessful and they weren't very happy about. And the comic book shows that they weren't the only ones, and some of them tried to put justice in their own hands. So this Triad gang hired this very popular and very sought-after assassin to basically assassinate Mr. Irons. And when he walked through the door and tried to shoot Mr. Irons between the eyes, Nottingham actually caught the bullet with his bare hand, which is a very impressive feat. As everybody knows, a bullet travels incredibly fast. So to be able to track that bullet down in the air and catch it is impressive all on its own. But to have it not shoot right through your hand and hit Mr. Nottingham, not Mr. Nottingham, but Mr. Irons square between the eyes is something that I'm very curious how the comic is going to explain in later episodes. Along with the ability to catch bullets out of the air, though, he is also a very, very deadly assassin himself. So he basically ends up killing the assassin who has a gun with his sword. So he brings a sword to a gunfight and wins. And here, where they have the blood running off the sword, kind of dripping onto the floor, I love that attention to detail. It for someone who reads comics for blood and gore along with a good storyline, I definitely appreciate the length that the artist did to make that scene extremely epic. And then, sure enough, once the assassin fails, the triads, they don't give up. They try and run Nottingham over, which, as you can see, does not go so well. So he basically jumps, flips over the car, and while he's flipping over the car, he puts his sword through their fabric roof of their car, and it basically explodes through the driver's face. So, although he is an antagonist, I would have to say Nottingham is my favorite character in the book because he is such a badass antagonist. He's very powerful and he makes you think, how the heck is Witchblade going to overcome this extremely violent, extremely aggressive, an extremely talented Nottingham who loves to showboat and is extremely agile, can catch bullets out of the air. So he seems to be indestructible. So you just kind of wonder, how is she going to overcome that? And that's why that makes him my favorite character. It makes it so that there's such a big climax or such a big challenge in the comic that you start to worry for the actual protagonist. So that's my review of Witchblade. Even though it is a comic book from the 90s, I would suggest people go out and buy it and give it a read, as it is very entertaining. I myself am only on issue 12 or issue 2, sorry. Makes me regret not reading it when I was younger, when it originally came out in the 90s, but it is a very good comic. But that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and comment what you think about the comic, and I'll make sure to reply to every single comment. Yeah, if you're new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification so that you don't miss the next one, and I'll see you on the next one.